One of the things about moving farther away from where you used to live, not just simply downsizing and staying in the same area, is finding new services, all kinds of services in your new area. You can try to make friends and ask for references. Sometimes people are great about it, sometimes they aren't. And this is what I'm finding. So especially if you go from a big metropolitan area and then you move to something that's a little more rural, you might find yourself wanting for certain services. So the first thing I looked for when I moved further away and downsized was a veterinarian for my dog. And all the vets in town had at least a 6-week wait. Some aren't even taking new patients. So they blame it on two things. They said one veterinarian retired, didn't sell his practice, and then another, they said veterinary practice had a big storm to their building, and the building, I don't know if it blew over. But anyway, that's what they were saying. So I had to take my dog back to the old vet a couple months ago because she was due for her rabies and a couple other things. And the vet I spoke to there had seen my dog before, and she grew up in the area where I'm living now. And her mom still lives here. And she's like, really? They have long of a wait? But she said, you know, when young people get out of veterinary school, they don't make much money, and they're going to go for the best salary they can. So the better salaries are going to be in the metropolitan areas. So at her vet, at that vet, the original vet, I called on a Monday and got an appointment on Wednesday. So my dog's older and I'm concerned about that. So we did have an appointment finally at one of the vets that I was referred to. And this particular one, it's a main road all the way there. So I think in winter, that road's going to be the best plowed because it's 4-lane. There was another one that was a very nice looking clinic, but they're little 2-lane roads with no shoulders, and I just don't know how that's going to be getting to it. So we now have a vet, but they have a 6-week wait. And I didn't talk to them about, well, what happens if something happens to my dog and she needs to be seen right away. There's an emergency vet clinic that's not far from here, but I never went to emergency vet clinic where I used to live because people said, you know, you could, at night, you could wait for out anyway, and it's very expensive. So that has me a little nervous. And the other thing, of course, when you move, you need a new hairstylist. So I did find a decorator to help me with some things in my home, and her hair's highlighted. So I said, hey, where do you go? And she referred me to this guy who has his own salon, and very nice salon, kind of upscale. It's the most I paid for a haircut. I thought I was paying a lot for a haircut before, but anyway, he suggested that because of my type of hair, that we get rid of some of the layers. So growing out some of the layers, cutting off some of the length. This is really short for me. And growing out the bang, which I've done before, but you know, I have these thin spots right here. So I'm at that in-between stage where I look at my bang and I'm like, oh, that doesn't look right, especially before I start a video. And sometimes I forget, and then I look at the playback as I'm editing it. I'm like, what's going on with my bang? Like something's all parted here and it just doesn't look, it doesn't look right. We're at that in-between stage, but he did color it. I love the color. So when I see it in certain light in a mirror, it looks so nice. Whatever color he used, it's almost like a two-tone blonde. But but he didn't do low lights. It just looks really nice, the color. So we did a full foil maybe in September. And then I do every 12 weeks. I do a full foil and 12 weeks later I do a partial, and then 12 weeks later I do a full. So I do like going to the salon. I keep forgetting. I'm one of these YouTubers. When I'm at a location, I forget to pull out my phone. I don't have a vlogging camera. I just have my gigantic Canon camera that I'm filming on now. I forget to pull out my phone and do some, I need to get a little bit of, I need to get some clips while I'm there. So we usually can't, well, if I do video, I have to get rid of the audio when I'm in a salon because of the music, and there's a copyright error, but I could take some pictures and I've just forgotten. Okay, so moving also means finding a new doctor, finding a new dentist. So some of you who follow me know that earlier in 2022, I had cataract surgery, and I did a whole series on that so that people going to YouTube and saying, oh my gosh, I think I have to have cataract surgery. What's involved? You can find out what's involved. And I had a little follow-up thing where I needed what it's called YAG laser on this eye already. So I didn't want to change my insurance, which you can if you move, because that's another reason, you know, especially if you go from one state to another and your insurance is just to that state. So I'm like, no, I'm in the same state, so I just want to keep the same one. And where I used to live, there's a huge medical group that was part of that whole Blue Cross Blue Shield. And now where I live, there's only one group. One group. So I'd gone online. I have an HMO too, which gives you some cost savings. But anyway, went online, found a doctor that I wanted as my primary care. And when I called, they said, she's not taking new patients. And I'm like, then take down her video. So then they gave me a list of doctors who are taking new patients. They were all booked for months into December, into January. And I'm like, yeah, forget it. Then I got the cold with the sinus infection, so I had to go to their immediate care. I've never been to immediate care. Luckily, their immediate care was very, very nice. Just like a regular clinic, didn't have to wait. Well, the wait depends on who shows up before you do. But the staff was great. Everything was very professionally managed. But I still don't have a doctor. I am starting to go to a chiropractor, though, who's helping me. They have staff who's helping me with the postnasal drip because I have this leftover postnasal drip that won't stop. So I'm so excited in a future video to talk about that. Yeah, but I'll table that for now. So, of course, you have to find a new dentist. I haven't found a new dentist. I haven't even gotten a referral to one. So I've had an appointment for early November with my regular dentist. I'm just going to drive the more than an hour. I'm even going to take the dog. I'm going to drop the dog at a friend's office where they're dog friendly and let her hang out there a little bit. She's a tiny thing, so she'll be fine. And then I'll go to the dentist and yeah, and take care of some things out there. And of course, just people to work in the house, electrician, plumber, handyman, people like that. So I found fantastic people for that, all referrals. It started with the referral to the guy who did the inspection of my home. Great guy. And he's also introduced me to some other folks just as like friends and involved in the community. Then someone in my subdivision referred me to a handyman, fantastic handyman, and he referred me to the plumber. And I had other referrals to plumbers, and you know, they either weren't working out or I wasn't calling him. Got a great referral to a plumber. His work is excellent. His, what else? Just his rate is reasonable. He works quickly. He even came back after doing a sink faucet, and I was getting a little bit of leaking underneath. He came right back that same day. Fantastic guy. And then I have another group that does remodeling and electrician work. So they've replaced some lights. I have a few more lights to put in. Can't wait to show you that. But, you know, there's just all this new stuff. And then the one thing that's really on my mind, I have an Acura. And when I first got the Acura, I had a mechanic in town, but then they moved. So I started going to the Acura dealer and I've split between two depending on where I live, one closer where I live, one closer where I work. They were fantastic. They still are. And their rates weren't really all that different, and they're certified to work on the Acuras, of course. They've been fantastic. It was the best car I've ever owned. Nothing went wrong with that car until it got old. Now it's a really old car, but I love my car. I just love my car. And there's no Acura dealer where I live. So I got a couple referrals to people who work on foreign cars. The first one I didn't call because right after that I got a referral from my next door neighbor who's a car guy. He's like, oh no, go to these people. So I called those people. They had a 6-week wait just to get in, just to get my oil change in that. And I know I've got other things going on with the car, like the sunroof. Right before I moved, it was like not wanting to open or close. And I'm like, oh my gosh, close. So I got it closed. And I thought, I don't want to open it. I'd rather have it stuck closed and tucked open. But I miss using my sunroof, especially now that it's fallen on a nice day. I like to have the sunroof open. And, you know, there's just other things happening with an older car. And I just always felt better having the dealer there. And also, I would make plans to schedule with my dealer so that I could also schedule a loaner. Oh my gosh, so great having a loaner. So I might go back and do that and just get the loaner and tool around for the day and get some things done. There are 3 dealers, actually. There's the dealer where I bought the car. There's a one near where I used to work. And then there's the one near where I used to live. So, yeah, it makes me nervous. I've got an older dog and an older car. And not having somebody that I can just call and go to if something happens with the car and it has to be towed. Anyway, so at the place I'm going to for the oil change, they just said when people have an emergency, it's got to be their current customer. So I'm like, fine, let's get me as a current customer, get the oil changed and tires rotated and things like that. And then I'll be a customer. If something happens with the car, I can have it towed there. Anything with cars, it really bothers me. At Container Store, I got another one of these medium-sized baskets. I guess I can put it here. I returned a small one. So the small one is like this depth. And I got another medium for the pantry door, which I haven't even filled yet, which is awesome. So this container, I have, the dog is barking, ribbons and tape, and the top is broken. I dropped this years ago. They don't even make this anymore, which is too bad because it had these cool handles. So I got this bin, which is just slightly longer. I knew I couldn't go smaller, so I can put all of my ribbons in this one instead and still have a lid. And then I'll probably just save this and put it in the garage or something and just use it as a tote without a top. I made a Trader Joe's run too, and I got their spicy pumpkin samosas and my favorite, their vegetable samosas, and some other things that, let's see, their vegetable broth. And one of the things that's the best price there, what is it? Per ounce, their raw cashew pieces are the best price for cashews ever, anywhere. Here's another sheet pan idea. I have eggplant, red pepper, an onion, and 4 cloves of garlic down here at the end. And they were roasted at 400 degrees for 45 minutes. There's about a teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon of pepper, and then I can put it into the food processor and make a delicious dip out of it, or I like to just scoop some of this up and add it to marinara. As Andy Griffith used to say, good cracker. Even better dip.
Good cracker.
So today I'm going to go help a guy in the area. This is a guy that even people where I used to live, they're like, you got to meet this guy. He's a good organizer of the community, and he owns a small business, and he's been renting space from the park district in a building for years, and some people decided that they didn't like him and wrote to the park district some dramatic emails and letters saying, we're so afraid of him. So a bunch of us are going to help him move his business and show support for him. And he's a really nice guy, young guy, maybe in his 40s, with a family, and has a health related business. So that's what I'm going to do. Luckily it's sunny out, it's not too cold, and we're all bringing food too and have lunch out there. And so it'll be interesting. I'll hopefully meet some new people and see, I don't know if we're expecting 50 people or 200. So really enjoying, getting some things done around here. I hope you enjoyed that. That eggplant dip is so good. Sometimes I just make that tray and I'll blend some of it for the dip, and then the other I'll put into marinara sauce. Oh my gosh, it's so good in the marinara sauce. That eggplant and that roasted red pepper and that little bit of onion and garlic. Oh my gosh, it's so delicious without blending it. I just put some marinara in a pan when I'm going to make pasta, and then put in some, oh my gosh, it's delicious. Absolutely delicious. I love my Alpha baskets. And also, so when I went to that helping Jimmy move day, I made a new friend, and we started talking about GloryB-TV, and she's a lot younger than I am, so, but anti-aging kind of things. And she told me about, you're going to laugh because I haven't had Botox or anything done to my face, but there is a guy in town. Is he a dermatologist or a plastic surgeon? I don't know. He might be a dermatologist, kind of well known. So she said, he's having an open house. I'll send you the invitation. So she did, and it's next week. So I hope to go. If I remember, I'll pull out my phone and take a little bit of thing. It actually says in the invitation, cocktail attire. For this, it's just like 3 hours just to get to know them. And I thought, you know what? I'm a YouTuber. I'm getting close to 100,000. I'm getting close to 100,000 subscribers. I have 81,000 as of this filming. So I'm getting close to that 100. When you get the 100, you get the little plaque. So we're getting there. So if you know anybody who you think maybe they would enjoy GloryB's channel, please send them a link to a video and tell them to subscribe. If you haven't just subscribed yet, please click that subscribe button. They changed the color. They changed how it looks. I think it's black now instead of red. Of course, we all saved our red button to put on things. So now they changed it. Hopefully I can show a little bit of clip of what goes on at this open house. Of course, they're trying to sell their services. And I think they have other things there besides just what the doctor does, like a lot of these more boutique kind of, I'm guessing it's dermatology. Thank you for spending some time with me and finding out about my move. You might be at a time in your life where you're thinking about downsizing in the next few years. You're thinking about, okay, where do I want to live? What kind of place? I'm really happy in my one-level condo with no stairs. Nobody above me, nobody below me. Just, I share a couple walls. I share a garage wall with one unit, and then like bedroom wall and closet wall, and I think my laundry room wall with the one behind me. But I never hear, we can't hear each other because the wall, they built that so well with whatever they do between units that I don't hear them. So, and I'm glad nobody can hear me exercising. Nobody can hear me when I do my jumping. It's fantastic. So check out one of my other videos if you want to know a little bit more about what I've been doing for downsizing and that kind of thing. I'll probably put them all into one playlist as well, but you can tap one of the images on the right side of your screen, and I'll see you in the next video.